Okay, this time we do it in English. Otherwise, it's completely the same as the last German videos, with the minor difference that this time I'm flying my almost brand new P3. So this is a good occasion to try out if the recorded data is the same as in the P2. Bzz, bzz. Okay, this is the very first flight I'm doing with this one. So I'm starting camera on board now. Driving as touchscreen doesn't work. Now.
Recording started.
Perfectly. Well, let's try it. Ah, smooth. Really smooth. We have almost no wind right now. The drone is perfectly still, so it's enough time to tell you what we are doing right here, just in case if you haven't seen it in German anyway, or you didn't understand a word, what most probably is right. And I was reminded by a Russian to make the same video in English. Hopefully he didn't, or thankfully he didn't ask me to make it in Russian, because I can't. Nie понимаю по-русски. Я ничего не знаю. Now, that's all about my Russian. Well, that's me, and the other thing is the drone. I'm just telling, you see me move, it's a little more interesting if there's more than just grass around. Well, I can come closer. Mirrored. Everything is mirrored right now. Okay. Here I am. I hope I'm speaking an understandable Scottish English. Well, the thing that I am doing here is I like to use the data, the flight data recorded by the Litchi app for Dashware to put all the data in the video. In the P2 it was quite easy and quite noisy, by the way, so send it back a little. It was quite easy because the P2 doesn't record any data anyway, but the Litchi app for P2, P3 and so on records a lot of it. And I know that the P3, the DJGo app, records data as well, but not as many data fields as the Litchi app does. So for this reason I'm doing this with the Litchi app in this case. And I have to find out if there are more data fields than in the P2. But since I used the Litchi app, I think it might be absolutely the same, just more data fields may be used. This is quite a long speech. Altogether, it's just how to get the P3 flight data into Dashware videos. The Litchi app records the flight data, and Dashware produces them into the video. And I wrote a, how do I call it, a profile that converts the data in the right way. And of course a few instruments that haven't been there before, so they can be used. First of all, you see in the lower right of the screen two little drones. One of them, I have to turn the, so I can see it from the back, it's easier to handle. You can see once the drone forward and backward, not movement, but alignment, I could say. This is forward and this is backward. And if you see, if I let go the stick, there is some braking as well. Okay, forward, backward. Maybe with a slight delay because the instruments of Dashware are not that fast. The same is with the drone. Symbol slightly left of the first one is right and left, as you might have imagined already.
3% battery.
Whee! Okay, this is quite easy to understand. Then you have a drone symbol seen from above with a yellow arrow dancing around it. The drone symbol is the alignment of the drone itself. If I have it to turn, okay, turn, then you see it turning. Well, what a surprise. if you cross the south direction, you may note that the drone suddenly jumps around. That is because the dash where image is used like a gauge with a needle, while the drone itself is the needle and the gauge you can't see. So when the data jumps from 180 degrees to minus 180 degrees, the needle couldn't pass the zero spot, or the south spot in this case, so the drone image dances around one time. I couldn't change it, sorry folks. Then the yellow pointer. The yellow pointer has nothing to do with the direction of the drone looking, but of movement. So if I move around the drone like this, you see the yellow pointer points in the direction of movement, but not relatively to the drone, but relatively to oh God, how do I say Himmelsrichtung in English? Well, relatively to North Point. So the camera may view in this direction, but the pointer points to the direction of the camera, relatively to north. So if I'm standing in the air, this yellow pointer may jump around a little, because the drone is still moving very slightly, maybe by wind, maybe by GPS changing coordinates, you know, it's not very precise. And so the pointer immediately shows somewhere. Maybe I can dampen that, so movements only above a certain speed are shown. We will see. It should be possible to make that. I think there's a limiter for that. Then you have a little camera on the side, just left of the little drone icons, that shows the pointing of the camera, the angle, so to say. Well, you might have guessed that already. Oh, that's interesting. I can, with a P3, I can go slightly upwards with the camera. I don't know if my instrument already is showing that, or how exactly the data is processed by this. And I have now a button to switch from completely up to completely down very fast. Funny, isn't it? Then they are new gauges because of the new data that is recorded by Litchi, or is provided by the programmer's bridge that DJI provides. You know, the third person or third retailers who program software for this are dependent on what data is provided by DJI. So you see, oh God, the German word Laststrom is the current of power that is running through the wires. Now it should be around 14, 15, 16 ampere. And if I give full throttle upwards and forwards, you see this. On the P2 I had values of about up to 30, 31 ampere. I don't know exactly what will happen with the P3. But you see some pointers might dance around. And there is another value and maybe a gauge on the down, well, left side, more or less, that is pointing the rest percentage of battery. I find it very useful, not exactly useful in videos, but I like to show data in videos. I'm a technical freak. And the rest amount of milliampere left in the battery, or to be precise, milliampere hours it is. And I have, more or less just for fun, I have inserted my altitude meter and speedometer. I like this old-fashioned style of measurement. And in the upper part of the picture I produced all the data in a digital way, so I get a lot of data in there without using much space. You see, English is not my mother tongue, my native tongue, I think it's called. You can omit all the big gauges downwards and just use the upper digital gorgeous. I think I make a special English version because Laststrom or something is very hard to understand in English. If it's distance, Höhe, Geschwindigkeit, distance, I can use English words as well because they are used in German sometimes, so people will understand that. But Laststrom may be a little hard to understand. Wow, also this P3 is stopping very hard on height and keeping the height quite good. Come closer, my dear. Well, this is good hovering, I would say. Now, trying the camera now. Beep, and another beep, and a little turn. And oh my god, there I am. I already told in the P2 video I'm wearing an old Swedish army coat of I think 1956 or so, or at least the model is 1956. 1956, so. Because it's quite cold, I think we have some 4 degrees or so. Yes, this is quite cold. It's more or less the same temperature in summer or in winter here in Germany, in northern part of Germany at least. And it's a little rainy, so I'm very delighted to have a spot with no rain right now. I want to fly the new P3. Try this one. Up, 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 down, down, down. No, this way. Yeah, my ugly face filtered by whirling propellers and my vibrating camera, I would say. Let's find out if in the video there is some vibration too. The camera looks... Oh, I try if I can show that with the GoPro. Whoa! Oh, okay, let's try it this way. I can't see what I'm filming right now. I hope simply for the best. It looks like the camera is vibrating. By the way, I am flying with P2 propellers. There was a intense discussion in the forum if one could use P2 propellers because of the active brake of the wing. I think I can hear it stopping or at least braking the propellers down a little. Yeah, something is happening there, and therefore one should tighten the propellers a little more than I was used with the P2. The P2 didn't need any tightening of the propellers, and I was very delighted to find out that my old neon yellow propellers for the P2 already are the way it should be for the P3. They are a little, well, you have to use a little force to tighten them so they won't come loose. Add a little down the camera so the picture will become brighter. Is there any more to tell about the dashware stuff? I asked myself. I don't remember right now. I think I told the most of it you have to know. If you have any questions, just ask me. There's a commentary function under the video, so use it. What is the power? Oh, 5 minutes left. Oh, there's a dog. There are 2 dogs. Somewhere there. Can you see him? Was is there? Nah, should be there. And one of the dogs is very interesting watching the drone. A 5 inches smartphone is really too small for that. Yeah, should be there, the dog, right beside the watching tower, I would say. The hunter's stand also, I don't know the English word for it. And I think there's the owner. There will be questions. Hey, what are you doing? Is this allowed? The most German question of all is, are you allowed to do that? This is the world's center of bureaucracy here in Germany. And the Germans are used to that, so every time they see something new, they ask, "Oh, are you allowed to do that?" And the second question is, how much is this drone and where can I see the video? Ah, there's a second dog, very interested. Okay. This is a watchdog, ha 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 ha, so I'm watching dogs. There it is. Ja, hier.
29% battery.
Moment, ich komme mal rüber. Oder noch besser, ich hole sie runter, der Akku ist fast leer. So, ich wurde auch prompt von besorgten Hundehalter angesprochen, was ich denn da treiben würde. Und es entspannt sich. Oh, I have to switch over to English. Of course, I was called by the dog owner. What I was doing there with the drone, with a hint of anxiousness about it. And but it became a quite nice conversation. All is well. I can fly. The dogs are not disturbed in any way, and the dog owner, of course, isn't as well. And the dog owner and the owner of this property I'm flying off know each other anyway. By the way, I have permission by the owner of the wood and the sheep shed or whatever it is here to do what I'm doing. So all is well. I think I told anyway everything I had to tell. Well, this is the P3. As you all know it, there's nothing special. Completely normal P3 Professional, which I got from eBay at quite a acceptable price, I would say, with a second battery. I'm missing one table more. I have too many hands, too many stuff, and too little tables. Okay, thank you for listening, and I hope Richie has recorded